What's up, everyone? This is Z from Metal Theory Radio, and we have our co-host Jordi with us. This is the Sentimental podcast where we talk about metal and media nostalgia, and we got a couple of really cool topics. But first, I found this interesting. I was looking at the news today. Metal Blade Records has signed a Japanese metal band. They have signed a band called Broken by the Scream. They are like metalcore, deathcore with J-pop elements, and the type of band that Metal Blade signed. That's my. Let's say I'm kind of surprised. I've heard them before, and I thought they were pretty cool. So I'm gonna be really curious to see what kind of sound Metal Blade's gonna have for them. But first, let's just give a quick roundup. No one, you didn't watch it. I didn't watch it. The Grammys. Who gives a shit? Award shows. Who gives a shit? But every once in a while, you look at the nominations and the winners, and you're wondering, one, how did that win? Two, why did that get nominated? And three, why do I care? So let's get into it. First, I thought was the best rock performance right here. Let's see here. It says who won because I have it organized. Best rock performance was Changes live from the Villa Park. Back to the beginning. It was Youngblood featuring a bunch of different artists. I don't get Youngblood. I really don't. My
Uh-oh, you don't?
my sister likes him. My niece likes him, but I don't like him.
You don't have to. It's not for you, but I shouldn't say it. He has a place. He has a place, and it's to bridge the gap between certain elegant, eclectic generations. I get Youngblood. He is the hybrid of hair metal classic, but he has so much more of a connection to the emo scene kids, and he is bridging the gap. And he's doing it as pure in heart as possible. I'm going to get a lot of crap for using that word, that phrase to define him, but no, there's a place for young blood, in my opinion. I didn't dig the combination of him with Imagine Dragons, but that's just because I'm weird about those weird little wannabe, like, I don't even know what you call that. They're like early Maroon 5, but darker. I don't know how you,
Ugh,
because it's that sort of mom and dad alternative rock vibe for Imagine Dragons. And I'm like,
I hate that band.
I don't know. Mormons trying to be the killers. That's what I see. I'm sorry, but whatever. Moving on. I dig Youngblood though. I think he's darling. He's got the Brit thing, and he has won over Sharon Osbourne's heart and is just making her so happy with his friendship and being so cool and loving on Ozzy and just keeping that vibe alive. And I dig it. I someone needs to.
I mean, that's totally fine. I mean, I'm glad that he respects Ozzy Osbourne, but from a musical standpoint, I just don't get it.
You
I
don't.
think,
I don't think we're supposed to. I think we're supposed to be a little bit of the gatekeeper on that, but I don't know.
yeah,
I have a weird, cute little goth side that I quietly hold on to, and he pulls on my heartstrings there. I think he's funny.
I gotcha. So, the nominees, though, I've never ever heard of this band. This just sounds like a really bad porno title. Okay, the song first was called "You Should Not Be Doing That" by Emil and the Sniffers.
Well,
Seriously? Oh, no, Sniffer. Yeah, it is Sniffers. 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 So, Emil and the Sniffers. I'd never heard of them.
I haven't either, but that's hilarious. That's like,
I'm
I don't know.
I'm supposed to take that seriously for winning or even getting nominated. I've never heard of it, and this is best performance. So, okay, this one I understand. It's not my favorite, but I get it. It's the Emptiness Machine, Linkin Park.
Okay.
I'm very indifferent towards new Linkin Park. I don't hate it. I don't like it. There's a couple of songs that I thought were really great. I think "Heavy Heavy as the Crown" would have been a great Chester song, but that's
Yeah.
just my personal opinion. And I saw him back in 2014 with Chester, so I would never go to a Linkin Park concert just out of respect for Chester and my childhood personally, but that's just me.
I get to. I followed Mike around when he was doing, the Fort Minor thing, and he took so I have a dissective reasoning behind Lincoln Park. I also know that Chester Bennington was one of the greatest humanitarians of all time. I had a painting I'd bought from my husband and I were going to buy this old Hot Topic style barber shop in Ocean Beach, and the original owner's wife was a painter, and she painted this gorgeous portrait of Chester Bennington, and I was like, I have to have that. So she sold it to me for a good deal, and after a while, I was like, I have nowhere to put this. Like, I love it with my whole heart. It needs to go somewhere great. So I posted it up on the San Diego kind of, open forum for musicians. And this guy pops out. He's like, I just built a studio and I want to put this in there. He came and he bought it from me. And he's like, do you know what Chester Bennington did? And I was like, no. He's like, he put so much money down against child trafficking. He worked so hard to fight and fight and fight for it. And I know that it is a battle that cannot be won, but I know that he is the greatest metal emulation of someone who is so good on the inside and so tortured by reality. And you can't let go of the commonplace it played into. Like I don't know how after 9/11 was for you, but for me, that was the album. Hybrid Theory was the album that made me feel like my anger and my rage was justified. And everything beyond that is just art. That album was revolutionary. Everything else is just artsy fartsy for me. So, but I get it. I like the new vocalist. She's cute. She's got the punk rock vibes. I'll look forward to the next album.
So, okay. Well, like I said, I'm just really indifferent. If they keep going, they keep making music, that's fine. Will I check it out? Yes. But will I probably like it as much as like the other stuff? Probably not.
Mhm.
But the next performance was I've never heard of this band until like 3 days ago, and to be honest, I don't even get why they're in the metal thing, because from what I've heard, I'm sure probably they were metal at one point, but the song that was Never Enough by Turnstile. I've never listened to Turnstile. I know for a fact that they got pretty big last year, but are they a hardcore band? Are they a metal band? I listened to it. My mom described it as the Ramones, but a little bit heavier, is what she told me. And I'm like, I don't listen to Ramones, so I have no opinion on that. But
Yeah,
I don't get Turnstile. I mean, I should probably listen to the album at some point, but I
hmm
have so much shit I have to listen to. It's like, do I want to add that to the list?
I know. And especially with, how we went 2 weeks, we're like, this is the roundup from January 23rd to February 6th. So much came out. So many albums came out, and it was electrocution for 2 weeks straight. But
Jeez.
but I mean, I do get Turnstile. I get it is a friendship thing. I think that's what people need to understand about the Grammys. And I'll go off on my old lady grandma bishy tangent in just a minute about it because I still think it's like prom. And I hated prom. I ditched my frickin' prom for an MMA match because it sucked so bad. But it's all about friendships. Like Turnstile runs with the Odd Future group. They're all buddy buddy with, the LA elitist punk hardcore meshing integration of celebrity. And I there were a couple of songs I really liked, but they're not my jam. And that's not insulting. They're just not my jam.
Okay.
I
Well,
like metal, you know?
yeah. Well, this next one is definitely going to be controversial from me because in my personal life, I made it my personal opinion to say how much I despise anything Haley Williams has done. So her Mirza Panning, or I'm not sure how you pronounce that. That was the another nominee, Haley Williams, not Paramore. I can't stand Paramore. I can't stand Haley Williams. I lived through the Twilight craze. I can still hear Decode in my head sometimes. It's the worst. And I never liked Paramore. I mean, I like other bands that probably sound a little bit like Paramore, like Against the Current and Tonight Alive. I like those, but I do not like Paramore at all. And Haley Williams just comes off as an insufferable bitch. I usually keep that stuff to myself, but at this point, I can't stand her.
Oh,
Like I have nightmares being stuck in a room with her.
that opinion. Okay. Whew. You said everything that I wanted to say, but you said it with the ferocity of someone who knows truly deep down that there is an entire collage, not just one human being, a collage fan base that is insufferable and overzealously showy and opinionated and trying. Okay, I share your exact opinion, but I just want to add one more thing.
Go
What
ahead.
she tried to revamp an era, right? And I saw a lot of artists try to do this, and Paramore was the one where I was like, there are certain commonplaces that don't need to be recycled. There are certain commonplaces in music that don't need to be revamped or revisited. And the whole Talking Heads, Phil Collins thing, that whole era of how would you explain it? It's like top floor of the most expensive penthouse in New York, blazer wearing, almost like new wave, but more
Hipster
professional.
douche.
Like that whole, yeah, basically the pre-Trump era douchebag, which is ironic. She, but it is like those penthouse suite boys that were mocked and mimicked in American Psycho with the idea of the worst one. And it's like, yeah, that was a bridal period of absolute weirdos who listened to weird music, and you tried to make it pop culture again by putting out an album that covers all the songs, and it's just ironic. It's a beautiful irony, but you also know that I'm Mormon, and I suffered through the Twilight Saga too, dear. the the sudden fucking vampires glitter, they don't barbecue.
Yeah.
Like when was that? I don't know. But curses happen for a reason, and they generally come out of entertainment, and that's where I'm like, I get you. I get you with the Paramore thing. They and her showiness and her disposition.
Yeah.
No, it is what it
Well, well, when that last one came out in theaters, I I always got stuck with the terrible jobs waiting in line for movies. Even if it's something I didn't like, I'd wait in line for somebody so they can go see it.
is.
I
Hmm.
got stuck with Breaking Dawn Part 2 back when they had midnight showings. So I'm waiting in line in a chair, it's raining, and I'm surrounded by all these twitards. And they have this pop music station up really loud too, and I'm trying to listen to Dima Borgir and Whitechapel, probably blasting my eardrums quite a bit. And I was in that line for like 4 or 5 hours, and they had a news story about it. And if you look in the background of that news story, I can see myself there. So there is evidence that I went to one of these things but didn't actually go.
You,
It,
it just brings forward the perfect meme of you sitting, sitting like Bernie Sanders in your little chair with your metal
Pretty
detector
much.
pressing, blazing your music, and then the twilight tards are behind you. You're like, this is so fucking stupid.
It was terrible. I mean, I got free lunch out of it and all, but I have a lifetime of terrible memories. And the fact they want to try to bring those back again just triggers me. And I don't use the word trigger lightly.
Maybe that's why they're doing it on purpose. They're like, let's trigger him. Let's trigger this boy.
Pretty much. I feel like it's a personal attack against me if they ever bring those back.
Right. Yeah, the
But,
Grammys are never going to be my jam. They aren't. For me, metal showing up at the Grammys is never a victory. It's like a hostage video. But
mm,
that's why I like it, because I know you're going to get to it probably next, but
hmm
Spirit Box, that felt like somebody crashed the party.
I
And
like that.
they did everything that they could to make that crash as minimal as possible, but I know why they did it. And it's it's ironic. It's just ironic to me because the Grammys have always been trying to keep their hands on the relevant concepts of you know what we consider rebellious a little bit, just a little bit, so that next year when they come back, there's that conservatism, but it's not conservatism, and it's been back and forth like that forever. But I love what they did for Ozzy, and I love what they did with Spirit Box. Yep.
All right, so next we'll talk about the best metal performance. Again, one that won is Bird's Turnstile. Never heard of the song, so I have no opinion again on Turnstile. Then the nominees were Night Terror, Dream Theater. Not a big Dream Theater fan. I've listened to some of their songs. I mean, they're talented, don't get me wrong, but I think it might be the vocals. I just don't like the way the singing is. But then again, I listen to Symphony X, so I don't know. Then Lacrimosa, Ghost. I listened to like 4 tracks of that first Ghost album and I deleted it right away. I'm like, I cannot stand this. Why is this so overhyped? Why does it look like they're like a satanic black metal band, but it sounds like, what everyone else says? Scooby Doo music. I don't get it. And I've I've listened to a couple of songs here and there, but to me, Ghost is just that band that I'll never understand.
That's all right. You don't need to.
No.
It's hit or
And
miss
then
with me. So,
yeah,
yeah. I know they're ripping
and
off King Diamond to a degree, but not intentionally. It is an era, a timepiece, and it does feel like they're trying to coagulate all of the tonology of the 70s, 80s, and 90s into one showpiece, but it's still, I hate to say it like this, the same as Sleep Token. You're pushing a product. You're pushing a product, and you want it to be as big as all the other products, and you want a spot in Vegas. You want your own show. You want to get to the pinnacle, and you want it to be a catalog that'll last forever. I get
mhm.
it. I get it. Whatever.
And speaking of Sleep Token, the other one was Emergence by Sleep Token. It's a decent song, but I don't think it should have been the one that should have been nominated. There are better tracks off that album. Not my favorite album, even in Arcadia, but I don't know, maybe the last track that should have been nominated. But that's just again my opinion because I like Sleep Token. I mean, I got around to liking them in between, not when they're in the very beginning, not when they got really popular, but in the middle, like when the second album came out, like 6 months after I heard the first album. So I got to see them cheap too, ticket wise. Now, if I have to go see him again, it's going to cost me way too much money. I can't even afford a ticket for my niece anymore. So that's kind of annoying because she likes Sleep Token. That's why I like Sleep Token too. It's the first band I ever showed her because she loved that music video for The Love You Want. She loves all the colors in it. So I have that memory just showing that to her, and she was just in awe. She was like 3 or 4 years old at the time. So, and taking her to her first concert was just awesome.
Hmm.
So that's one reason why I love Sleep Tokens because I have that little connection with my niece. So, and then of course, Soft Spine by Spirit Box. It's a good song, but it's not the best song. Even not even by a margin when it comes to all the releases of last year.
Right.
So, and performance was fun. I liked it. It was cool. I'd want to see Spirit Box live. Like, not to mention their bass player is Josh, formerly as Like Dying. I still need his autograph because I have 3 of the autographs from As Like Dying. I am missing Josh and I'm missing Phil, the former guitar player. So at some point, hopefully, I see Spirit Box and say, "Hey, I know you're not in the band anymore, but can you please sign this so I can actually have the complete collection? Because if I don't have the complete collection, it drives me insane."
Right. I dig that. I totally
Yeah.
dig that.
And the last, let's see here. Yep. Let's see. Yep. 2 more sections. Best rock song was "As Alive as You Need to Be" 9 Inch Nails. It was from the Tron um soundtrack. I never saw the new Tron. I haven't seen any of the Tron movies to be honest. I've only played Kingdom Hearts 2, which has the Tron world in it, it's cool. Don't get me wrong, and the song is okay, but I don't think it deserved to be nominated. The other nominee, this one I understand actually a little bit better. It's Caramel by Sleep Token. It's a song that actually grew on me, so I've listened to it numerous times, and it's one I'll probably do on karaoke eventually, but not tonight. Because I go do karaoke, and the other place had it, the same KJ, but he didn't get the job again. So he was like, "Hey, you can come down here for my new gig, but just don't do anything mega heavy." Because I did Lorna Shore, I've done Thy Artist Murder, I've done Sleep Token. I was like, "Oh yeah, okay, fine, I will honor your request." So no heavy Sleep Token songs this time around. Glum, Haley Williams again. Do any of these guys even listen to half the shit they nominate, or they just like throw a dart on a dartboard and see what sticks?
We right.
I mean,
Let's
let's see what happens when you get people who do not know jack shit about, like, metalheads who know a lot about metal, but then all of a sudden they have to do all the nominations and nominees for the pop and the electronic music and see what happens. Actually, they'd probably be better, to be honest, because they tend to be more open-minded than your average mainstream listener. So that you could probably, I don't know, probably get lights on there. I think that's
we'll
just
we'll cross our
my.
fingers. I think in a perfect world, actually, no, in your opinion, in a perfect world, what metal band would have taken the gold at the Grammys?
Oh man. Oh well. Okay, we gotta think though. We gotta be a little realistic though, a little bit though too. In the same time, like it's a band that broke out. It's a band that has mainstream success and it has everything. I'd go with Lorna Shore.
I agree 100%, but now you're making me look at the tectonic plate that's against them, and it just goes back to my whole attitude towards the PTA that is the all these Twizzy award shows, right? It's not just this. It's like every award show, the Golden Globes, the Grammys, even the VMAs. It's like a PTA club that is rebelling against their experiences in high school with the original PTA club that favored the jocks instead of the theater kids for prom king and queen. You know, they
I've heard that metaphor.
they they get they get a high off of this, and it is a big societal high. But I mean, metal doesn't belong in an institution designed to like smooth out discomfort. That's why I'm okay with how it's just a quasi rejection. They'll never dig deeper than the reputation of the surface because all of these bands that got nominated in the metal categories have a standing ovation reputationally with the whole academy, and it
Yeah,
took a lot of endurance because as I clearly recall, the last time Spirit Box was on the carpet, they call Courtney Poppy.
that was hilarious.
That was bull crap. Like it was like, why don't you cold clock that broad in the face for the team?
Ugh.
Take one for the team, man. Beat
That's why I
them.
always say if you're gonna interview anybody, do your fucking research.
Think about it. Care about it enough to figure it out. But I mean, again, they don't care. They
Yeah.
don't care.
I
And
I got an email from a PR company. They asked me if I want to interview Billy Chuck from Testament. I just told them I'm not a huge Testament fan and I don't want to waste Billy's time. So,
aw, it's hard when
because
you're not. It's hard when you're not truly excited enough to do it. I get it.
I have no obligation. Like I'm not working for anybody. It's for myself. So no one can say, "Hey, you gotta do this thing." So I'm like, no. I mean, I'm Testament's fine. Don't get me wrong, but I just don't like listen to them so much. I don't know any of their lore. I don't know any of their behind the scenes things.
Yeah.
Like, like if I'm interviewing somebody again, I want to interview Phil Bozeman from Whitechapel, just Whitechapel in general. Like I have questions that I want answered,
Right.
and they're not just the generic questions either. They're actually like well thought out questions. Well, I think they're well thought out questions anyway. Some people might think they're just generic as well, but
I
it
think
depends.
you do
Let's see here.
fine.
Oh, and the last one was Zombie Youngblood. Again, don't listen to Youngblood. Never heard this album. Never got sent a copy. Thank God. And yeah. Now the best rock album. Again, the winner. Never Enough. Turnstile. I'm just gonna have to listen to this to see if it's actually any good. Then the nominees for Private Music, Deftones. I've listened to Deftones, I've seen Deftones, but I did not listen to this album because, again, you get so much shit that you have to prioritize what other stuff. So, I mean, good for Deftones though, because they've been around for a long time and they kick ass. I quit Haim. I thought Haim was an indie pop group. I did not know they were considered a rock group. So, I don't listen to anything by them again, but I just don't think this fits in unless they change their genre completely. But I don't know, and it doesn't pop up on any of my feeds at all too, so I wouldn't know. From
Probably
Zero
because
Lincoln,
it's probably
yeah,
because of the band The Warning. Have you seen The Warning?
I like them. I
That
want to see them.
those girls bent the entire genre of what probably would have been alternative rock into a whole new field.
And From Zero Lincoln Park, I listened to it a couple of times. It's whatever to me. That's what it is. I'm. There are a lot of people who are really pissed off. There are a lot of people that are like, "Yeah, this is good," but for me personally, it's just there.
Yeah. No, I understand that opinion. It's transitional. Adaption, test, touch and go.
And the last one was Idol's Youngblood. I'm not have to repeat the same thing I've been saying the last two times, so that's that. So that was the
Good.
rock and
Return the charm. Return the charm. Beat the dead horse. Do
yeah,
it.
well, that was the whole entire list of the rock and metal. There was alternative one too, but I did not look at it as much. And to be honest, there was nothing on there that I recognized from me personally. Apart from I know who Tyler the Creator is, I know Bone Ivar is, or however you pronounce their name, but I have no opinions on them because I don't listen to their music. So there was no point in talking about them. But these ones right here, there are some that I knew about, but overall, this is probably the most mediocre list of nominations I've seen in a long time.
Right. You already know my opinion. You already know I think it's an enormous gimmick to organize all music into an explainable presentation for your parents. I don't think it's anything. It's just all about the glamour and the glitz and dressing up, and everything becomes a prop. Everything, including the music. And I know that's harsh criticism, but I don't aggrandize them. I think I'm thankful that metal was considered. I'm thankful that Ozzy got his spot. I'm thankful that everybody honored and cherished Ozzy again as many times as possible. I think it's wonderful. But I also think that the hot focus was still on something completely beneath the award ceremony itself, if that makes sense. And
Hmm.
just the way that it was presented, the way that metal is presented, it will never ever be good enough for me personally. I think it deserves so much more than what it's been given, but I mean that's the standard of society in general. So,
Yeah. All right. So next is I actually got like 4 or 5 albums that I listened to in the last week and a half that really stood out,
hmm.
and one particular song that I really did enjoy. So I got this in my inbox yesterday. It was a band called Forward. The EP is called Exposition. Very interesting. I need to listen to it a few more times, but it seems to be like this new metalcore electronic with some deathcore elements to it.
Yeah.
It's very well produced, but I there's something off, I think, in a couple of the vocal melodies. I think there's like this trying to sound a little bit like Fred Durst here and there in a couple of songs. It kind of throws off the flow of the song, but that's what I think. I think I listened to it a few more times. This thing doesn't come out till the end of February, so and they've been popping up on my Instagram reels a lot too. So and the cover art's pretty sick. Then after that, I post about this band on all my social media. Unfortunately, they didn't have a Facebook page to tag, but Hair of Fire with their EP Ashes of Remembrance, symphonic deathcore, really good stuff. But what I really like about this band, and I mean this in the nicest way, because I'm a huge fan, when he does his highs he sounds like Donald Duck screaming, and it's just awesome. So you have all this deathcore music in the background, you have the screaming, but you listen to it, you just can hear Donald Duck just going off, and it's the greatest thing that I've listened to probably this month. I love it. I told the vocalist that I was like, I'm making this in the nicest way possible because Donald Duck is one of my spirit animals. So you
So
love your epic symphonic deathcore, definitely check out Ashes of Remembrance. It's on Bandcamp. It's on all that streaming stuff. Then I listened to the brand new Hanabi EP, Hot Topic. I was sent this one. Japanese metal group. They've been getting pretty big. They've toured with a lot of the bigger metal groups too, and I really like them. They're all female as far as I recall, and the vocalist just has the most insane range. She can sound all J-poppy 1 minute, the next second she can sound like she belongs in a deathcore band or a metalcore band, depending on what the song requires. 5 songs, just really fun stuff to listen to. I highly recommend it, especially if you love your J-pop and your Japanese metal like I do. Like I'm so glad that this stuff is becoming more acceptable because I used to tell people I listen to Japanese metal with J-pop elements, and people look at me like I'm insane because I work downstairs at the dojo that I clean up, and sometimes I listen to baby metal, sometimes I listen to Cold Rain or Crystal Lake or whatever at the time, and someone caught me listening to it and asked me if I was doing okay, basically. It's like, because like, no, I'm fine. So I try
this
to be careful what I listen to if anyone's down there. So because if
Japanese.
if no one shows up, I will blast up Lorna Shore while I'm vacuuming. So that's always fun.
We just
Then
wanted to make sure you were okay.
I don't get it. It was a few years ago. People understand what I listen to now because most of those people who thought I was a lunatic are gone, and everyone else who's still there knows who I am. So they understand what I listen to, or they get an idea. I have 2 more releases which I really enjoyed. Brand new. Never heard of this band until a couple months ago. So if anyone's ever listened to them and like, how the hell have you not heard of them? Because I get so much shit, and my algorithm probably didn't show it to me. So the band's called Stabbing. The album is called Aeon of Obscenity. It is female-fronted death metal. And let me say, if you were listening to this and you said, "Hey, that's a woman doing those vocals," I'd be like, I don't believe you because they're so freaking low. Like I don't get it. Like it's awesome. I'm glad that we can have all these cool female vocalists doing all these different ranges. And it was just a really cool album to listen to. I didn't get a chance to look at the lyrics, but guessing from some of the song titles, they're probably pretty disgusting, but who cares? It was just a fun listen. Then this next one I was sent, I was actually looking forward to this one. This band's called Abstracted, all the way from Brazil. This album is called Hirieth, or I think that's how to pronounce it. It's basically if you have progressive death metal with elements of Between the Buried and Me in some of the songs. Each song's like 5 to 6 minutes long, and it's not straightforward metal. And I love Between the Buried and Me's music, so to hear a band that has similar vibes is just awesome. And that album, I believe, is out now. You should definitely listen to that. Then my then this one song, the brand new Starset track called "We Are Empire." It was made for a gotcha Japanese video game, and I really like the song. I'm hoping that the next Starset release will actually finally get like a full lore album with some new stuff and some epic rock music because Starset is just one of the best rock bands out there in my personal opinion. Next week, though, is going to be a lot of fun because we're going to get brand new Story of the Year and brand new The Gloom in the Corner, which I am really looking forward to because those two bands are some of my favorite bands. I've seen them both. I've seen Story of the Year twice live now. Some of them, and the most awesome dudes you can meet at a VIP. They just stand around and you can just talk to them. It's awesome. And The Gloom in the Corner, I was probably the first one because they did their first US tour last year, and they said I was the first one to bring an actual booklet for them to sign because I bought the album like a month in advance to get it signed. So they haven't forgotten about me, and every once in a while they'll send me a new song. They sent me their not their first yeah their first single. I was like I don't have any contact with the record label anymore just because of new people, new logistics. It's totally fine. I was like, is there any chance you can send me your song? And like, yeah, just give us a few minutes. And they sent it to me right away, and they know who I was, so it was awesome. So anytime I talk about them, they know who exactly is talking about them, not just some random guy, but someone who actually saw them, buys the merch. I have a T-shirt with their samurai Ronin on it. It's awesome. Great guys. And Story of the Year is just one of my favorite bands since 2008. So I am still really excited for that new album because the last two singles have been really good. I actually got the new single actually in my inbox, but not the whole entire album, unfortunately. Oh well. Can't win them all, but that's been my 2 weeks. How about you, Jordy?
Oh goodness. Well, this is between January 23rd and February 6th, which is today. And starting out at the beginning of that area of time, I fell in love with Death Dealer. I had never heard of them before, but they came out with a new album called Reign of Steel. My favorite track is Bloodbath. If you can
Nice
make me
name.
laugh, like, and it's the gimmick, right? I like the falsetto, the Viking, the whole 80s, graphic novel, just grungy, gritty looking cartoon style. I like that the He-Man, He-Woman kind of thing. And they
Hmm.
really push the cartoonistic perspective on it and it feels like a gimmick and it makes me giggle. I like it. And
That's
it
awesome.
took a little bit of sting out of an interesting era of news and life and death and yada yada and should be dead and whatever. So, Death Dealer, Reign of Steel. Then Casket dropped In the Long Run, We Are All Dead. My favorite track is Mainstream Mutilation. It's very sick. It's
What
very
genre is that one?
yeah, like I can't even pin it anymore because it has the thrash, it has the grindcore, it has the grit of just, death metal, deathcore violence in it, but it's a string of pearls of different emulations of different perspectives on each genre. It's really good.
I might have
Um,
to check that one out.
it's good. It's really good. Check it, listen to Mainstream Mutilation first. It's really good. And then Mayhem.
Yep,
Now I have to say this properly like a cannibal from the 1500s. Mayhem, Liturgy of Death, my favorite track. Propitious Death. You have to say propitious death. Like a cannibal, propitious.
that's
Um,
awesome.
they are just timeless. Mayhem is s- they're evolutionary while staying true to their roots. And, they have always been extreme, but holding on to the time capsule of the early stages of, Black Doom or not Doom, I should Black Thrash. Like, they keep it classic. They keep it classy. Um, and then I came across this is a new band for me. They're on Instant Classic Records. Tail Gunner. Have you ever
I
heard of
saw the name.
them? Very, very rich in context. So the album they dropped is called Midnight Blitz. War in Heaven is a song where, I mean, I think it pulls on my heartstring of having grown up listening to Meatloaf, where, you have that operatic and there's the elegance behind the way it sounds. But I mean, they're preaching a timeless gospel of mayhem and massacre, and I love it so much. I really think you'll like it. It's very, very dark and sentimental, very, very doom and gloom. I think that was the most sentimental thing that I came across between January and February so far. And then finally, number five, this confused me because I saw the press release and it was just basically their entire discography just re-released on a different label. I believe it's Rise or yeah, Rise. One of the major ones, but it's Rocky and the Sweden. So they're a Japanese hardcore, but more dominantly punk in the direction that I've been getting all the vibes for. So it feels like this year is going to be recirculation of punk. And I mean the
Hmm.
classic, and I mean I shouldn't even say classic because it's so much more organized, but it kind of clicked the switch for me to really love and respect bands that are coming out like XCOM.
I've heard the name.
Ooh, ooh, a deep dive into that. Deep dive into that. There's a whole resurgence really kicking ass there. But most of Rocky and the Sweden were re-releases of their like 1997 stuff and then, some new stuff. But I mean, it just feels like they've switched labels and now they're just pressing it.
Mhm.
But I really, really like their style of punk. It's, I think, few and far between when you can find something that sounds that organized and still has, like, because they dress up very K-pop style almost, where it's
Wait,
like,
Visual Kei? Is that what it is? The K-pop. So is it like do they look like girls? They have big hair and stuff?
I don't want to, I don't know. It's almost
Because
like early Pantera, where they're trying to just figure out their niche, but they're emulating this cool sense of style, where it's not the traditional like Sex Pistols sort of glam. I don't know. You just have to
okay,
look it up for yourself because the way that I interpret it is I care more about the sound than the image.
gotcha.
But it's really cool for being something that was subtly Japanese underground, you know?
Yeah, because Japan has a style and the music genre is called like Visual Kei or Visual Kai. I'm not sure how you pronounce the word, but they basically ever heard of Duran Gray?
Darian Gray or Durian?
Duran Gray. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. The
I think
Japanese band. They all
I
dress up very weird. That's what basically the visual key element or style is. It's still pretty popular even in the Japanese metal scene and the Japanese rock scene. So, because sometimes I'll get promos, I'm like, what is this? Because I'm
right,
looking at the picture, not the name of the band or who's in it. And I'm like, is this some sort of like J-pop thing or is this a rock or metal thing? I don't know.
right.
So it's not my type of style, but I do like the music though. So
Yeah.
that makes sense because I've seen what glam Terra looks like.
Glam terror.
That's what I've heard everyone call that first. I actually knew someone who met like Pantera during that time period. I believe he did, or he knew him a little bit afterwards. But he met Pantera, and
Yeah.
he said that they do not like talking about Glamterra
You're allowed to hate who you used to be. It's okay. I progress you, Phil. I progress you. It's
because
good.
Phil wasn't even the vocalist. I think it was someone else at the time,
Yeah.
but I know it was Dimebag and it was his brother. I know that for a fact, and I'm not sure about the bass player. Like I'm a casual Pantera listener, so I'm not the I'm not the biggest person with a knowledge of Pantera. If you looked at me for knowledge of Pantera, you'd be disappointed.
That's okay. That's okay. I get it.
But I did walk on karaoke once. That was fun.
It's heavy. I love that song. I think that has such a great 80s anthem style to it. It's good. It's
Yeah,
good.
I imitated his voice and everything, and the KJ was looking at me like, "You really want to do this song?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, I want to do this song."
So heavy. It's so heavy. It was like, "Wait, split, walk.
Walk.
Are you
You're talking
talking to me?"
to me. It's so much fun.
So
Then
good.
actually, then I met someone who actually liked my impersonation of Phil, and she decided she wanted to do a song with me. We ended up doing Chop Suey together.
Oh, I like that. I would be in a System of a Down cover band. If I had to pick one, that band is so epic. It's so good.
I just
Uh,
like making, I like just mimicking his voice. It's just a lot of fun.
It is so much fun.
So I put a thing on social media, and some people did reply, some people didn't reply. Totally cool because we're just starting to grow the social media, and it's gonna take a lot of time and consistency from my end because to be honest, I'm not really good at it. I post when I post how I feel like it. I don't have anything like timed dictated, which I should, but I posted because again, media nostalgia. First movie you ever saw in theaters. I saw yours. I looked yours up, and I'm like, that's a really, really, really messed up film for a first theatrical experience because
I
I
was 5.
remember, was
My
it?
parents were my parents were off the wall. They were off the rails. They were young, they were dumb, they were yeah, I remember seeing Sleepwalkers, Stephen King
Yeah,
Sleepwalkers. When I was 5 years old, my mom worked at a theater that no longer exists, and I remember shortly after that I saw Child's Play. I saw Did I see Cujo yet? I don't think I saw Cujo until I was in my teens, but I mean I saw Pet Cemetery, the original one with Little Gage. Um, I dug horror movies, and my parents just enabled me to watch them. I saw Hellraiser by the time I was 8. I saw like
Jesus.
I know, and I to this day I'm a huge fan of that writer. I think Woven World is one of my favorite books. But it's yeah, I was a very demented child. I was the child no parent wanted their kid around for sure. But yep,
Yeah,
Sleepwalkers, greatest soundtrack, Santo and Johnny, story of cat alien people that and incestuous mother cat, son cat human hybrid relationship. Just I don't know. I think Stephen King knew no more about the real world than anybody, and he escaped it in drugs and then wrote books. I think that's prolific.
yeah. Well,
I approve.
mine was not as bad. Mine was The Lion King when I was 5 years old.
That
I
was not,
got that.
that's equally traumatizing, just in a different way.
Eh, didn't traumatize me, but you know what? I really like. I actually saw that in theaters like 2 or 3 years ago, and I took my niece to go see it, and she loved it. So to be able to share what you grew up with is just one of the best things, and if they actually enjoy it, it makes it even a lot better. So yeah, Lion King was my first movie in theaters. I know that for a fact. My memory's a little bit blurry in between that. I know I saw Toy Story in theaters, first one. That was awesome. I saw one of the Star Wars movies, first one? No, second one. I saw Empire Strikes Back when they were in theaters. I know that for a fact. I've just been going to movies ever since I was a little kid, and we used to have a dollar theater in our town, so we used to be able to go to the movies a lot.
Right.
So, like, I just wanted to talk about that because I was just curious when I saw your answer, I knew exactly what you're talking about because I saw Chris Stuckman's Hilariosity review on YouTube years ago about that movie, and I'm like, that's a great first theatrical movie.
Yep, that and I also remember Children of the Corn, and only because that was like when I was 6 or 7. I had the biggest crush on Malachi. Biggest crush. Like, if you want to talk first bizarre, weird, cinematic obsessions of a kid, like Malachi. Crazy cult leader, redhead ginger, slitting people's throats, sticking their hands inside of the meat grinders, like 12-year-old kid. I'm like, that's gonna be my husband. I was a neurotic child and I'm a neurotic mother, human, adult. I'm neurotic. I
You
embrace
know
it.
what's funny is that half those movies you mentioned I actually never watched, even as right now as an adult, because some of them just never interest me. Like Children of the Corn, I've never heard of anyone being actually any good. Cujo is just one of those films. I love dogs too much. Why would I watch a movie about an evil dog?
I get that. I
But
totally get.
Hellraiser I watched when I was 15 or 16, and I'm like, wow, that is some messed up shit.
That is
The new
it's disturbing. Very pornographic. I will say that
the,
for a
the new one was awful. I hated that one.
I didn't get to see any of the new ones. I heard that some of them are good, some of them were just folly to the puzzle, but
Yeah, so all right. Thanks for listening or watching. I am Z from Metal Theory Radio. You can follow me on all my social media, on Instagram, on Facebook. Don't follow me on Twitter because I don't use it as much anymore. Just it's not as good anymore. I'm not sure it's the algorithm or the website. I don't know what it is. It irritates me to no end. So you can follow me on there. And you can follow us too on Facebook and Instagram. I'll be asking questions on the stories and stuff. So if people want to have anything they want to talk about or ask, go ahead. We'll look into it. And yeah, and I am Z, and I am Sentimental.
I'm
Jordi?
sentimental. I am Jordina. You can find me all over the place. Parasantheum on Instagram, Jordina Bell on all the other places you probably shouldn't be paying attention to me to, but Jordina Bell at Metal Insider. I love your reviews. Send them to me, and I am sentimental. Metal. Sentimental.
We also have an email now too if you want to send us music to look at, as long as it's not stoner metal, at
No,
thesentimentalpodcast@gmail.com.
I love
She'll
this.
look at it.
I love
If it's
this.
stoner, I will not look at it. I cannot do it. I cannot do it.
That's fine. It was meant for me. It's fine. Okay.
All right, that is it. Thanks everyone for watching and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next Sentimental.
There you go.
Bye.
Bye.